Hello and welcome to another step-by-step how to tie tutorial video. This is the CDC cream soda Mayfly. This is tied up on a size 12 Mayfly extended body hook. This is where it lets all the magic happen. For a thread, I am using a thin waxed flat thread, yellow. The body dubbing is a fly-right Cahill tan, number 22. The ribbing is a golden silk floss, size A. The wing material is, of course, the CDC feathers. And I am using kind of a white, creamish colored Metz Hackle. And the tail, I'm using little Fibbits white. Little clear, little things for the tail. Alright, we'll remove the sample fly, and what makes this unique is to get things started, I put the eye of the hook into the vise, allowing me room to work on this tail portion. And to get things going, instead of doing a traditional forward wrap, since this is in the hook or in the vise backwards, I'm going to do what's typically a counter wrap, but when the hook goes into the vise normal, it will be in the proper direction. So this is a counter wrap. Once I got my thread firmly affixed to that extended body, I'm just going to run my thread all the way to the tip. And I'm going to tie in my tail material, these white Fibbits. I'm going for 2 on there. Isolate those and just pluck those off. I want these to be relatively long, so I want to take these and tie them in a body's length. And I'm going to do my best to keep them on the top side of that hook, or that extended body. Not too concerned if they are pinched together right now. I will separate them at the end of the process. But I know both of them are there. We'll trim that off. And get that thread out of the way. I'm going to tie in my gold silk thread, a couple of tight wraps at the base of the body. And I'm going to just go ahead and run this thread, touching wraps, all the way to the tip of the tail, or the base of the tail rather. Here we go, now we're back here. I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of thread out, and I'm going to do a couple of turns on the whip finish. I like using the tool because I believe I can get fairly accurate on the placements of my thread wraps. There, now that ribbing material is locked in, I'm going to go ahead and take this off to the side in the thread holder. Now I'm going to take wraps rearward with my tying thread. This is extremely thinner in comparison to that size A silk floss, so I feel confident in spacing these wraps out a little bit without having to worry that I'm building up any sort of excessive bulk. Alright, once I'm at the tip, I'm going to take my dubbing material, this fly right poly. A little bit goes a long way. And I'm going to create a nice tight dubbing noodle. And we will dub this on, starting at the tip of the tail. Making sure I get a good coverage on the back. And we will continue to taper this forward. Nice even wraps with the dubbing. Sometimes you just have to go through and add another half a twist just to get things to lay flat. And I'm going to let this build up just a little bit on the back side. And we'll go under the hook a couple of times. And we'll take a couple wraps this way. Just use up the rest of that dubbing. Why not? It's on there. There we go. Beautiful. That is the base of the tail, or the rear half of the body rather. We'll come in with our gold silk. And these wraps will be forward, which is actually a counter wrap. I want to space these out nice and even. The reason I went with the silk is for savings on weight. Having this extended body on here adds a considerable amount of weight of hook material, so I might as well save a little bit by using floss, or silk rather, instead of using a wire. Well, that is that on that end. We can go ahead and take our hook out and get it in our traditional sense. Take my working thread back a little bit, prepare to tie in our CDC feather. Go ahead and just tie this in here on the back side. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Lock that down nice and tight. Alright, I'm going to come in with some larger padded Hackle pliers. I'm going to coax these fibers towards the rear. This will make for a beautiful little puffy wing. Not quite your traditional Mayfly preformed wing, but I think it'll be enough to fool the trout, and that's what matters. Alright, we'll take a couple locking wraps and secure this CDC the rest of the way down. Excellent. And I don't want these to extend out past. Fold them up and towards the rear. And these longer ones, I'm just going to break off with my fingernail. Excellent. Prepare our hackle feather to tie in. Find this nice little transition point. Splay out the fibers a little bit. A little bit of a haircut. And we'll tie in this hackle feather. One of the things I learned early on is that the tip of the hook is almost directly below the eye. So just have to be mindful when taking these wraps with my thread and the hackle. If you've enjoyed this how to tie tutorial video, be sure to check out the playlists that I have provided. I have all my step-by-step videos put together, and I also have my fast forward series put together. We'll leave that at the hackle there. A couple of locking wraps. And we'll trim off the front. We're going to build a very small head up here on the front, really just focusing on locking that hackle down. Finish things off with a few turns on the whip finish tool. 1, 2, 3, oh, we'll do 4 just because. Tighten up our thread and clear that off. I'm going to apply a little bit of secret sauce, good old Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails. But I am going to take one little droplet on the bodkin for this. We'll even wipe a little bit of that off. I'll just get a little bit on the thread. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And we will come back here, and the final step will be to split our Fibbits out. Pretty tough for being so small. And that is it. That is the CDC Cream Soda Mayfly. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Give me that thumbs up. Happy tying, folks, and tight lines.